going to take us into a lot of different calculations. We can do with radian measure, I'd say a lot, a couple. We're going to have more later on in this chapter. But what we already know, what we were using yesterday, I told you that in radian measure, your angle is equal to arc length divided by radius. So if we want to multiply over the r, we get the first important formula for today, your arc length formula. Arc length, meaning distance around the outside of the circle, is r times theta. So S equals r theta. You will not have to memorize these formulas. I will start giving you a formula sheet on your test that will have all of these formulas on there. You just have to know what the variables stand for and how to use them. So S is arc length, or distance on the outside of the circle. R is the radius. Theta is your angle. But for any formula to work, theta has to be in radians. If theta is in degrees, your formulas will not work. Okay, so that's the kicker on these. So really all this is telling us is your arc length is proportional to your angle. The bigger your angle, the bigger your arc length, which seems reasonable, right? If you're talking about distance on the outside of the circle, as your angle gets bigger, you're intercepting more of that piece of your circle. So I would like to look at this example. So a circle has a radius of 25.60 centimeters. Find the length of the arc intercepted by the central angle having each of the following measures. So part A, theta equals 7 pi over 8. So the formula I just gave you, S is r times theta. So my r is 25.6, and my theta is 7 pi over 8. So we are just multiplying. If you don't multiply out the pi, so if you just do 25.6 times 7 over 8, you get 22.4 pi. Or if you do multiply out your pi, you're going to get a 70.372. What would my units be? Arc length is a distance on the outside of the circle. So it'll always match your radius. So it's just centimeters.
I thought S was radians.
Theta has to be in radians. Theta is the angle. Part B. What's wrong there? It's in degrees. So before we can do anything else, we have to convert that into radians. But after that homework you've been working on, how do we do that?
180 times 180 divided by pi divided by 180.
Because we want the degrees to cancel. So 54 over 180. And that would reduce to 3 pi over 10. So now we can plug into our S equals r theta. My radius is 25.6. My angle 3 pi over 10. So depending on how you choose to answer it, you don't have to give me both of these, just one of them. You could have 7.68 pi or 24.127 centimeters. Is this okay so far? last one I do today, actually. So Erie, Pennsylvania is approximately due north of Columbia, South Dakota. The latitude of Erie is 42 degrees north, while that of Columbia is 34 degrees north. Find the north-south distance between the two cities. So we're talking about two cities here. They're not perfectly, we said approximately due north, so we're looking at this. I'm trying to find the distance between them, so I'm looking for that. So I'm looking for my arc length. We need R and we need theta. What is my R?
Um, 6,400.
Okay, theta. I gave you a couple different measurements here. If I want the angle here, I need the angle between the two of them. So what should you do with those? Subtract it. So 42 minus 34 is 8 degrees, but can I use that? What would we have to do to it?
Times pi over 180.
Alright, so 8 over 180 reduces to what?
2 over 45.
So we have 2 pi over 45. So now we can do the S equals R theta. We don't know S. R is 6,400. Theta 2 pi over 45.
So how'd you get 2 pi over 45?
We did the 8 degrees times pi over 180. So 8 over 180 reduced to 2 over 45.
Okay.
So different ways you could write this if you don't multiply out your pi. Or if you do. And this time we were in kilometers. Any questions here?
What if you didn't leave a pi one in a fraction? Is that?
That's okay too. So really you can write it 3 different ways. In a fraction with pi, in a decimal with pi, or multiply out the pi. Any other questions? So this is just giving us a head start on that next section, which we will finish